Hey y'all, this is Amanda with She's a Mad Gardener, and I am finally here doing my June garden tour. It took a while to get here, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. If you're a Southern gardener, you know it's been rough. We've had ridiculous rain, and then right after the rain stopped, we had ridiculous temperatures of 100 degrees and more. The humidity has been insane, and it's kind of been a tough June already. But I am excited to show you guys what I have going on in the garden. We're gonna start in the back today. Now, bear with me. As a reminder, I do have 2 dogs, 3 children, so this backyard is a working backyard. It's not just for my gardening, it's for baseball, it's for running around playing tag, it's for dogs running and barking at neighbors, all that good stuff, okay? So you are gonna see some not pretty stuff in this tour today. All right, let's start right back here with the cut flower garden. Now, for those of you who saw my vertical wall tutorial here, it's going really well. I ended up losing a couple of, ironically, zinnias within it. I think they ended up getting a little bit too much water. And so I've already trimmed them out, and I'm going to replace them with another option. But you can see the areas where I didn't lose the zinnias are doing really, really well. I've got pentas, I've got vincas, I've got Silver Falls dichondra coming in here, and then I do have some of the zinnias that have made it so far. But this is really starting to fill up from where I started, gosh, just 6 weeks ago with this. The rest of the cut garden is coming along. Gladiolas are finishing up. You can see some of the finished blooms that need to be trimmed. I have a few more coming here. My amaranthus is really coming along here. I also have Coral Fountains amaranthus and Hot Biscuits amaranthus, which are getting planted this weekend. I've grown them from seed already. Still have a few of my cosmos going on. Definitely zinnias are starting to poke up throughout the garden, which I'm loving. All my ageratum is beautiful. I've been cutting on it like crazy, and it has been very happy. You can see my one random sunflower right here. This is my Italian white, one of my absolute favorite sunflowers. Jeff, get a close-up of the sunflower for them. One of my favorite sunflowers. It has white and pale yellow petals, and it kind of tapers at the end. It's just a beautiful sunflower. All my honeybees love it, and this is a volunteer from last year. You can see at the base it's got all the 4 o'clocks are open. It's not anywhere close to 4 o'clock, you guys. It's almost 8 o'clock in the evening here in Wylie, Texas. That was the first time we could really get out here without being scorched to death. But I've got a lot of varieties going on back here. You probably saw my most recent sunflower video where I've got a lot of pro-cut flowers back here that are pro-cut sunflowers back here that are doing fabulous. A lot more zinnias starting to come up. Looks like my apricot asters, they're still doing really well. I have some that are just at the beginning or at the end of their stage, and then I have some that are just coming up over here. Jeff, you want to show them this apricot aster right here? And when they say apricot on this aster, it is super, super pale, blush pink. I mean, just really, really pale, but still beautiful. And I've really enjoyed having these in cut flower arrangements. Definitely have a wide variety of scabiosas. You can see, oh, look, yay. I was wondering if my White Parks selection would come back on my white zinnias. This is a volunteer from last year. I loved this particular zinnia last year, so I'm really happy to see it back. I've got a lot of DARA. It's some of it's finishing in bloom, and I'm allowing it to go to seed, you guys. Let me see if I can get some of these seeds off in my hand. Okay, these are its seeds. Super tiny, itty bitty. Ooh, they're blown away. But I have allowed it to go to seed because I'm hoping for a lot more DARA. DARA is a kind of a version of Queen Anne's lace. It's called a faux, or what am I say? A fake, I can't remember the name, Queen Anne's lace. So it's doing really, really well. Zinnias are coming across. I can't even believe it, but this phlox over here is still blooming. This sucker has been blooming since April, and it is now giving me another flush. I talk to you guys all the time about trimming back your perennials and then hoping to get another flush. So that is what has happened with this. I gave it a really hard trim back in mid-May, and it's coming up great. Look at this DARA, y'all. Oh, it's so pretty. Love the colors I'm getting in the DARA this year. I have a couple of arrangements coming out on videos that are utilizing DARA for you guys. I'll pop this up on the screen so you know some of these names. Have a whole bunch of basil coming up in this back area that I'll be utilizing for greenery, and more zinnias. These are my purple prince zinnias. They come back every year, you guys. I never reseed these. I haven't seeded these in 3 years, and they just keep coming back glorious every year. They're fabulous. By the end of the season, they'll be this tall. They'll be totally as tall as me, and I'll be cutting on them like crazy. Okay, let me show you some not attractive stuff. So, those of you who know, we went through some really serious, what we call snowmageddon here in the south area, and my ligustrums definitely suffered. I had 5 across here. 3 did okay. We trimmed them back some. They've come back all right. And then these 2 over here did not do as well. They struggled. I think that we could cut them all the way to the ground and they would flush back. However, Jeff and I have been talking. I think we're going to rip these up and that we're going to put a couple of other different types of shrubs here just so I have a little bit more variety of greenery to cut for my floral arrangements. All right, now check out this gloriousness. Isn't this amazing? All right, so this is my willow in my backyard. We planted this 2 years ago, babe? Yeah, 2 years ago. It's very happy here. A lot of people are like, don't plant willows. They love, they'll go to any water source or anything like that. They can cause a lot of problems. That's the reason we actually planted this weeping willow here, because we have a severe drainage issue in this portion of the yard, and we literally wanted to put something here that would suck up some of the water. So this is my beautiful willow. I'm actually going to be thinning them out this weekend, just so that you can get in here and you can see in here. It's got a lot of crazy intense branches, and so I'm going to thin them out and just concentrate on some of the larger, bolder branches. You can even see a branch over there. It's like wrapping around another branch. So I'm going to be thinning this out this weekend. It should be pretty. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these extra willow branches because they make beautiful wreaths. All right. Okay, working this way, these are our cattle troughs that we've got all the way across the back. We have 3 of them. We're adding 2 more. They are currently planted with a number of things. All of them have dahlias, a couple of types of dahlias in them. And then currently on all the trellises, we have cucumbers. I have 2 different types of cucumbers. This first one is a lemon cucumber, and I'm not sure that I have any fruit on it yet. I don't see any, but this was planted like 5 weeks after my other cucumbers. So it is still coming along, but you can see they're loving these cattle panel trellises. They're doing great. These are my hypericum berries. When I planted my hypericum berries, so many of y'all were like, oh my gosh, rip them out right now, burn it all, because they are very invasive. These particular varieties that are by Monrovia, they're not as invasive as other ones that you might know of, and especially the California area. So these are fine. And I've been cutting on these hard. And I'll tell you what, they'll be cut to the ground every winter. So I'm not going to allow them to get out of control. Don't forget, I live in suburbia, you guys. So lots of people coming around, running around. You'll hear voices. These are some more of my cucumbers, doing really good. A couple of dahlias in here. You can kind of see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, look. I am terrible about remembering to pick cucumbers, you guys. Look at this guy. And I see another one down in here. Oh, I'm so bad about remembering to pick them. But I need to get in there. If you haven't watched my pickling video, make sure you do watch it. Oh, look at this guy. He's perfect. It's looking really good. And then over to here and more dahlias. So we're going to be adding another trough on this side and another trough on that side. I did just run drip to all of these, and I have a video coming out real soon about how to run drip to your garden. Okay, so look at all, here's all the yucky messiness right here. If you remember, this used to be my kind of just Amazon greenhouse. I think I paid $60 for it. It was fabulous this year. I've broken it all down. Our mowers are coming next week. And yes, you heard that. Our mowers are coming next week. I do all this gardening and I still don't mow my own lawn. You guys, it's hot here. I hire 15-year-old teenagers to do it and they do a fabulous job. Okay, and here's another portion of the cut flower garden. You can see the gladiolus are coming to the end of their cycle. These yellow ones are just absolutely gorgeous. But the yellow ones, this little area of glads, they literally bloom in rounds of color, and the yellow is the very last one to bloom in this round. This year, however, when these glads are finished blooming, I'm actually pulling up all the glads in this garden right here, and I'm passing them on to a friend. I've got a lot of gladiolas in a couple of different areas, and so I'm wanting to clean this patch up because I've got gladiolas all mixed in, and I'm wanting to clean this up and put a couple of other varieties in it. You can still see phlox going strong over here, which is absolutely beautiful. I have some sedum that's coming up. My lemon balm is going nutso over here, and it just smells, oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Oh, so if you don't grow lemon balm, it's a really fun thing to grow. A lot of people tell you don't grow it in the ground because it can be invasive. I don't mind growing it in the ground, y'all, because I literally come and take handfuls and hack it back, and I use it as greenery in my designs. So it gets cut to the ground. Gosh, every few weeks I'm cutting it all the way back. So, and it just keeps coming back, and it's beautiful. Oh, look, 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 look. These are my lemon cucumbers right here, some of my seedlings that I'm passing on to a friend. And look, this actually has a little bitty lemon cucumber on it, so it'll turn yellow. I have a whole bunch of seedlings this way that are looking real, real good. A lot of them are going out this weekend. We're getting ready to start traveling, doing road trips. So all of these have to get planted. This is also my plant infirmary? Yeah, my plant infirmary over here. This is like clearance plants that I've gone and purchased, and I'm trying to resuscitate them and get them going. And so actually I'll be talking about these pretty soon in another video. Now this is all my shelving back here on the back porch, and a lot of you guys, I posted this video, I got a lot of comments on it, how pretty it looks. Well, I just want you to know, just being very upfront, it is not pretty all the time. This is a working space for me. So I'm constantly in and out, and I do a lot of projects right here on this back porch because it's one of the only shaded areas in my garden where I can actually do some work. So you can actually see that, I mean, I am working. There's stuff out, and I'm messing around with things. And so, but I'm really, really enjoying this space, and I really enjoy the shelves. They're a great dropping point for different tools, things along those lines. Okay, so this way will lead us to the side gate. I hope my audio is better for y'all this time. Jeff and I have been working on it. My first tour, I got a lot of complaints about sound, you guys, and so we went and bought the equipment to do a Bluetooth speaker. Jeff, why don't you go on by, sweetie? And for those of y'all who don't know, this was my therapy project during COVID. I did the this garden all the way down the length of the house. So much fun. And it is really, really starting to fill in. My smoke bush, y'all, I cannot wait to cut on this smoke bush. It is so pretty. Looking great. All of these are dahlias that are coming up. They'll be blooming in August. I'm super excited about them. All the zinnias that you see here are volunteer zinnias from last year. This is all of my cottage yarrow. I believe it's fuchsia, something or other yarrow. And it's actually getting cut back this weekend, and all of these are going to be dried for some dried floral arranging that I'll be showing you guys soon. This is my Althea, or Rose of Sharon. It's doing really good. This is its first bloom of the year. You want to show, babe? I believe this one's called Strawberry Sunday. But this is my first bloom of the year on it. Super pretty. Love it. All right, this is my gorgeous rosemary, and of all things during Snowmageddon, you guys, I thought I would absolutely lose this. I thought there's just no way. There's no way this Mediterranean plant is going to make it. Nah, it came back with a vengeance. It has tripled in size. It did fabulous. Got a little bit of Russian sage back here, which has been pretty, but I don't know if it likes its spot. It might be getting moved sometime soon. Okay, babe, I totally want to show them some close-ups of some of these blooms, so come on up here. Y'all, look at this guy. This is a Fire King Scabiosa. How gorgeous is that? I grew this from seed. And this will be one of 20 plus blooms it'll give me. You can look down the plant and see all the blooms all the way down it. Got some liatris tucked back in here, which is beautiful. all my Shasta daisies. They're kind of fading for the end of the year. This is the area I told you guys that I had a lot of concern about. This area just hasn't come together, but it will over time. I cut back my sunshine ligustrum because it had something going on. It still has something going on, so I'm pretty sure these sunshine ligustrum are getting ripped out in the fall, which I'm sure Jeff is like, oh crap, that means we're buying more plants. But they're gonna get taken out, and then I have 3 daylilies on each side. And y'all, I'm trying to like daylilies, but I just don't. I don't like them. I don't like the one-day bloom. I don't like the messiness of them. But I have a friend, Jillian, who absolutely loves daylilies. So she's going to get those 3 daylilies. I'm going to rethink this area for next spring. I did just plant a whole bunch of sunflowers right in front called Tinies. They're doing fabulous, and they even got buds coming up on them already. So I fully expect by the next time I show you this tour that we'll have sunflowers all through here. I do have another patch of gladiolus coming back here. These gorgeous wine-colored ones are actually called Arabian Nights, and they're new to me this year, and I am loving them. And look at the contrast of them right beside these Snow Maiden Scabiosas. Don't y'all just love it? Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Oh, here's another Scabiosa. I love flower rings, y'all. Look at my flower ring. So this area is looking really, really good with the seed stuff I've done, but I think the sunshine ligustrums are going to come out. I think the daylilies are going to come out, and I think this is going to be more of a cut flower garden. I'm just going to have some basics. I might put an evergreen towards the back, maybe a tall, wispy evergreen of some type, something to add a little bit of interest. But I'm still working on that. Okay, over here I've got all my guara. It's doing really well this year. You guys, last year this got mealybugs. Got mealybugs really bad. I had to cut it back real bad. I will say now that we're getting to the hotter part of the summer, there's a way better chance of more bugs coming in, but we'll see how it does. And this is one of my favorite color transitions throughout the whole garden. I've got this blue purple of these balloon flowers shifting into this dark purple gomphrena, into the pink truffula gomphrena, into these icicle plants. I think just beautiful. I just think it's a really beautiful look right here. And truthfully, this kind of happened a little bit by accident, but I'm digging it. I love balloon flowers, but one of the things I don't love about balloon flowers is all the deadheading that's required. However, I do have a beautiful 12-year-old little girl who likes to pick all the deadheads off of the balloon flowers every year. But I will say I feel like the pink truffula gomphrena is coming along really well by proven winners. And so I will be utilizing it into some cut flowers. I think it's looking really good. My snapdragons, this is the Rockets mix snapdragons. They're coming to the end of their season, and I'll cut them back, keep them alive, and hopefully get a rebloom of them in the fall. And then back here, had the recent, babe, you're going to have to peek in here. I had the recent video about coleus, and you can see my 3 different types of coleus. I've got my Alabama back there in the corner. In the middle is the bright pink carnival. And over here to the side is called Florida. And I think they named it Florida because it looks like alligator. That's kind of my guess. And I've got them tucked in under my Ruby Falls Redbud, which is glorious right now. It's looking fabulous. Its leaves come out dark purple like this, and then they start to fade to green, and you can kind of see some of that happening. And as the summer goes on, this will all turn green. It will be beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So I do have a lot of basil tucked in here. These are my bridal wreath spirea. Now I know a lot of you guys might have seen that video where I hacked these suckers back really bad. A lot of you, like, I feel like I got a little bit of hate mail for hacking these back so bad, but I kept telling you guys, even cutting them back, they're going to come back like crazy. And look how big they are already. I'm probably going to have to do another trim at some point. But I always hack them back really, really far and then let them come back the rest of the year, and then they bloom beautifully for me in the spring. Now working this way, I worked in a whole bunch of more sunflowers into this area. I've got all my oxeye daisies are cut back pretty far. You can see some scabiosas picking up in a couple of places. And this purple butterfly bush has done beautiful. It's supposed to be a dwarf series. It wasn't. So this, still really loud, right? So this purple butterfly bush was supposed to be part of a dwarf series, and it's actually been pretty large. I've already cut it back pretty severely twice. It's gotten up to this, and it's come out this far. So I don't think I placed it in the right place. So this might be an experiment in the future. I might have to dig this guy up. I'm not sure, but we'll see. You can see a few more zinnia volunteers coming up right here. Over here on this side, I've got more sunflowers and more lantana coming up, but more than anything, check out this yellow gaillardia. Isn't it stunning? Isn't it stunning? Look at these. The pollinators just love them, and you can see them in full bloom, but then look at the parts that have finished blooming. How fun are those? They almost look like cruspedia or billy balls if you've ever grown those. But they're doing really, really well. Okay, so I do have this coleus in here doing really well. It is doing so well that it's starting to flower, and so I do need to start pulling off my flowers. I am one of those people that I use the coleus for foliage, not for floral, so I do try to pinch them back. Have my first dahlias back here blooming. This is the call PALMARES. And they're kind of like a pale yellow with a little bit of magenta fuchsia color on them. Absolutely beautiful, you guys. And I'll be trimming these for some arrangements. Looking forward to that. Check out while we're here. Check out all the coreopsis back here. The burgundy and yellow coreopsis back there. Isn't that glorious? Love it. So a lot of dahlias in here. I also put a bunch more sunflowers in here, a couple of different varieties I'll be showing you guys. I did have a Play in the Blues, or is it Blue Suede Shoes? Well, it's a proven winner salvia, and they got mealybugs really bad last year, and I had to cut them all the way back. But this one volunteered, came back, so we'll see how it does. Have lots of my mums blooming into my Dusty Miller. This whole beautiful thing right here are SUPERTUNIA vistas, silverberry and fuchsia, and it is just glorious. They've done really well. In fact, this is how well they've done, you guys. If I pull this back, the part, like the edge of the garden is like a foot underneath you. So you see like all this grass coming through. It's because the garden is so far under here that I've got long grass growing up through it. So it has grown a foot over the edge of the garden. It's doing really, really well. It probably will, in our heat, it'll probably start petering out pretty quick, just because it's that time of the year, and petunias don't do real well in heat in Texas. So those might end up getting replaced, most likely with a low-growing zinnia of some type. Now, this is what I'm super excited about. These are my limelight hydrangeas. You guys, this is their second year. Look at this, second year. Look at all these blooms. And there's gotta be 100 blooms on here. I cannot wait for these glorious blooms to start blooming like crazy, because I'm gonna be cutting on them like crazy. And limelight hydrangeas are fabulous in that you can cut on them and they'll bloom off a new wood every year. So you don't have to be any kind of particular with them. Oh, I did want to show you guys this. Look how gorgeous this. This is what I love about the way I garden. I love layering. So look at all this over here. Look at this stone crop, or this autumn sedum coming through over here from underneath the hydrangea. And these creepy little sculptures. Got this from my grandmother. I gotta keep it for her, but it freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie. They have weird faces, but yeah, look how glorious this looks, just kind of coming out from underneath the hydrangea. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then this is my daughter's fairy garden. We focused really on herbs for this particular fairy garden, and you can see little bits and pieces. But you can see how it's really grown in with all the extra rain and such that we've had. And so it's really almost become like a secret fairy garden, which my daughter just loves. And the little fairy that's in there, she's buried. Look at her. She's buried under all of the mint under there. That's a, I think it's Corsicana. I might be saying that wrong. Mint. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so all my mums are starting to come in bloom. This guy was a little bitty 4-inch pot last year, y'all, this big. That was it. And I just put one in there, and look at how big he is. I can't say enough about mums. If you haven't watched my mum video, mums are a staple in my garden here. Everybody thinks of them as a fall flower, but actually they're really great structure in a garden. And so typically I'll get a bloom cycle right now, and then you guys, I'll come back and cut this all the way back, and these will re-bloom for the fall. These will be gorgeous in the fall again. So don't think that mums are one and done. If you buy a bunch for the fall, make sure you plant them in your garden and then you keep them. My delphinium are coming to the end of their season as well. They're looking really beautiful. This is the Pacific Giants that are looking fabulous. I ended up utilizing some, I think these are like candle holders for like weddings. I don't know. They're old. I got them from a vintage market, and I've utilized them as stakes for my delphinium, and I think they're so fun and unique. Just a really cool approach. Okay, so my liatris over here, all these beautiful purple spikes you're seeing right here, they are just beautiful. The honeybees love them so much. They will bloom and bloom. They'll probably look like this until mid-July, and then I'll have to cut them all back. But they are glorious. Liatris are bulbs that come back every year. Guys, they're so low maintenance, and they're so wonderful for a cut flower garden. Okay, you guys, I hope you have enjoyed this June garden tour. I didn't show you everything. I showed you some things. If I showed you everything, you guys, this tour would be an hour and a half, even though this is a small garden, because as you've probably seen, I don't garden minimally. Like, I put as many items as I possibly can, and if there's a small amount of ground showing, I'm going to put something there. But everything's really coming along. I will say this is going to look drastically different in July, you guys, because the real heat of Texas is going to be hitting in July, and a lot of this is going to die back. It'll still be really pretty because I'll still have a lot of green, and then I will come back and tuck in a few summer heat-loving annuals here and there to make sure I still have a little bit of color showing up. I'm very happy with the state of this garden. I will say I really think that Snowmageddon, once again, really put things behind this year. Normally my mums would be finished blooming, and they're just getting started in mid-June, you guys. And so typically these would have been finished blooming in May. So it will be interesting to see how everything plays out this year and how everything looks in the fall. Okay, sorry for the abrupt cutoff, but the camera gave out, and so we had to move on. So I'm wrapping up with a few photos, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me for today's tour. And as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.